Stop. For just 60 seconds, I ask that you stop everything you are doing right now. Turn off any other distraction, because if this video reached you at this exact moment, I guarantee you it was not by chance. Archangel Michael is calling you, and he brings an urgent message about a mark, a sacred signature, engraved on your soul from before you were born, a silent mark that defines everything you attract, everything that manifests or falls apart in your life. And until you recognize this mark, your life will continue exactly as it is today, with the same bills, the same relationships, the same doors closing right in front of you. I know you have spent years asking for prosperity, asking for love, asking for healing, asking for peace, asking in churches, in prayer chains, in rituals, even in the videos you watch in the middle of the night when sleep doesn't come because the anguish is too great. And yet nothing arrived, nothing truly materialized. And you began to wonder, deep in your chest, in a place no one sees, if God has forgotten you, if the universe has erased you, if there is something wrong with you, something that others have and you do not. I will tell you now, with the authority of over 30 years studying the deep laws of consciousness, the teachings of Neville Goddard, of Joseph Murphy, and the quantum physics of the heart. You have not been forgotten. You have not been abandoned. There is nothing wrong with you. What happened is that no one taught you the main secret. No one told you the brutal and liberating truth that can change your life today. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you feel you already are. You attract your state of consciousness. And that is exactly what is marked on your soul. That is the mark that Archangel Michael has come to show you. Stay with me until the end of this video, because later on I will reveal the silent error, the error that almost no one notices, and that is cancelling out all your manifestations, an error so subtle that you commit it dozens of times a day without realizing it, and every time you commit it, it is as if you were erasing with an eraser everything you had decreed. You will understand for the first time in your life why the universe seems to ignore your requests, and more than that, you will learn the exact turning point, the precise technique, the way back home. But first I need you to understand one thing. The mark that is engraved on your soul is not a mark of sin. It is not a mark of punishment. It is not a curse passed from generation to generation. This mark is your dominant frequency. It is the deepest, most habitual, most repeated feeling that you carry inside your chest without even realizing it. And this frequency is what your universe reads every day. Heaven does not hear what you say. Heaven feels what you are. And that is why you can spend your whole life repeating affirmations in front of the mirror, reciting decrees, doing prosperity chains, and yet nothing changes. Because your mark, your signature, is still the same as before. It is still the mark of lack, the mark of waiting, the mark of doubt. Neville Goddard, one of the greatest spiritual masters of the 20th century, taught a truth that needs to enter your mind like an arrow today. He said, and I ask you to listen as if it were the first time, imagination creates reality. Your imagination, sustained by a real feeling, is God Himself in action within you. When you imagine something and feel inside your chest as if it had already happened, you are not dreaming. You are creating. You are using the law of assumption, the most powerful law in the universe, the law that governs all other laws. And what is the law of assumption? It is simple and at the same time the most profound thing that exists. To assume is to occupy. It is to enter into the state. You do not ask to have a prosperous life. You assume the state of consciousness of one who is already prosperous. You do not ask to find a great love. You assume the state of consciousness of one who is already deeply loved. You do not ask for healing. You occupy the state of one who is already healed, walking serenely within their own body. Do you feel the difference? Asking is staying on the outside, knocking on the door. Assuming is entering with the key that was always yours. And here comes the part that hurts, the part you may have never wanted to see. Most people, and perhaps you are one of them, live their entire lives in the state of consciousness of lack. When you ask for money, you ask from the place of one who does not have. When you ask for love, you ask from the place of one who is alone. When you ask for healing, you ask from the place of one who feels sick. And the universe, faithful, obedient, returns to you exactly the state from which you are asking. It returns more lack, more loneliness, more sickness, not because it is cruel, but because it is a perfect mirror, and the mirror can only reflect what is in front of you. Think of a very common example. You have an overdue electricity bill, a maxed-out credit card, late rent. You feel that cold in your stomach when the phone rings, and you think it's the bank. And you pray. You ask God. You ask your angel. But you ask from that place of tightness, of fear. From that place where, if you are honest with yourself, you believe there is no way out. Then you say, "Oh, but I visualized the money coming in. I repeated the affirmations." I ask you, deep down, what was the feeling? Was it of one who already has, or of one who is desperate to have? This is the point, this is the secret. And that is why Joseph Murphy, in his masterful work, called this principle something that needs to be engraved on your heart forever. Feeling is the secret. Not the word. Not the cold visualization. Not the mechanical repetition. The feeling. What pulses inside you when no one is looking. The feeling is the language your subconscious understands, and your subconscious is the faithful gardener of your life. Everything you plant in it, it cultivates. Everything you feel, it materializes, without asking, without judging, without filtering. And science is finally catching up to what the masters have known for centuries. The human heart generates an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than the brain. And when you feel something truly, deeply, this field changes frequency, and influences the environment, the people, the situations that approach you. Science calls this cardiac coherence. The ancient masters called it faith. It is the same phenomenon. It is the feeling of the heart emitting your mark, your signature, your dominant frequency to the field of the fourth dimension, where everything is created before descending into matter. And this is where the fourth dimension comes in. Write this down. The fourth dimension is not a mystical, distant place hidden on some star in outer space. The fourth dimension is the state of your consciousness when you inhabit the desire already realized. It is the eternal now where everything that can be already is. When you close your eyes and for a few minutes feel, with all your senses, that what you desire has already happened, you are not pretending. You are crossing over, you are entering the fourth dimension. You are planting the seed in the only soil where it grows, the soil of the real feeling of the already done. But I promise to tell you about the error. The silent error that is cancelling everything out, and the moment is now. Pay close attention. The error is your internal dialogue, that voice inside your head that doesn't stop, that continuous conversation you have with yourself all day long. You wake up decreeing prosperity, but during the day, in traffic, at work, in the grocery line, your mind keeps repeating things like, "Everything is difficult, no one values me, I work so hard and don't see the money grow. So-and-so succeeds and I don't, this will never change." And you don't realize it. You think these phrases are small, innocent, but they are not. Each of these phrases is an assumption. It is a declaration of I am, and I am is the most sacred name that exists. When you say, "Even in thought I am poor, I am forgotten, I am weak, I am sick, I am alone," you are taking the Lord's name in vain. Not in the superficial religious sense, but in the deepest sense. You are taking the creative power that lives within you, the I am, and you are placing behind it a word of limitation. And the universe, obedient, materializes it, because the universe does not hear the word. The universe hears the I am, and completes it with the label you pasted onto it. Therefore, from now on, watch your internal dialogue like a shepherd watches the sheep. Every phrase that starts with I am, doing, feeling, I have, is a seed. What do you want to plant? What do you want to harvest? Your current life is the reflection of the seeds you planted in the last 5, 10, 20 years. But I have good news for you. From the moment you change the seed, the harvest begins to change. Not tomorrow, not next week, but it begins, and that is why it is called persistence. Persistence is the other golden key that Archangel Michael is handing you today, because changing your state of consciousness for 5 minutes changes nothing. Changing for an hour changes nothing. You need to enter the new state and stay. You need to inhabit, dwell, build a house inside the new I am. And then, yes, the outside world begins to reorganize itself to serve you. When you change the inner clothing of your feeling and stay in it and don't take it off anymore, life begins to reflect it. Always. And now I need to introduce you to a concept that will open your mind to a new level. Neville Goddard taught about the bridge of incidence. Write down this expression. Bridge of incidence. It is the way the universe takes you from point A, where you are today, to point B, where your realized desire is. And here is the most beautiful part. You don't need to know how. You don't need to plan. You don't need to rack your brain thinking of strategies. When you assume a new state of consciousness and persist in it, the universe builds the bridge. It organizes meetings. It puts the right person in front of you. It makes the phone ring. It leads you to open a book to a specific page. It makes you hear a phrase on the radio that opens a door in your mind. Each of these small events is a plank of the bridge of incidence, and you just need to walk. Most people fail here. They start to manifest. They feel the first push from life, and then fear enters. Anxiety enters. Doubt enters. They start trying to control the how. They despair when the path doesn't appear as they imagined. And then they leave the state. They return to the old I am of lack, and the bridge of incidence collapses, not because the universe abandoned you, but because you stepped off it. And now let's go to the technique that can change your life this very week. Nighttime reprogramming. There is a sacred moment, every day, that most people waste. And that moment is the exact instant before you fall asleep. Those minutes when you are lying down, eyes closed, but haven't fallen asleep yet. That state between wakefulness and sleep. The mystics called this state the state of pre-sleep. Joseph Murphy taught that this state is the golden door of the subconscious, because it is at this moment that the conscious mind, that part of you that doubts, that criticizes, that says it's not possible, begins to shut down, and the subconscious remains open, receptive, like soft soil ready to receive a seed. And what do most people do in this sacred moment? Pick up the phone, read bad news, watch arguments on social media, or lie there going over the problems of the day, the bills, the fights, the worries. And while doing this, they are planting these seeds directly into the subconscious. They are handing the faithful gardener a seedling of sadness, of fear, of scarcity, and it will cultivate it. Without asking. It will wake up watering this seedling the next day. It will bring you more of the same the following week, without pardon. From today on, your ritual is different. Before sleeping, you turn everything off, you close your eyes, you take 3 deep breaths, and you enter the scene. What scene? The scene of your desire already realized. If you want prosperity, you see yourself signing a contract, receiving good financial news, hugging someone with gratitude for what has arrived. If you want love, you see yourself inside that person's embrace, feeling their warmth, hearing the words that person would say. If you want healing, you see yourself waking up light, with energy, with your body responding, thanking for full health. And here is the point. You don't watch the scene from the outside. You enter inside it, you feel it, you are there, it is your body, it is your heart, it is your breathing inside that reality. And then you fall asleep inside the scene. You drift off to sleep still feeling it. And that's it, done. You have just planted the most powerful seed that exists. Because you planted it at the moment when the subconscious was open, and you planted it with the real feeling of the already done. And the subconscious receives this seed as an order, as a decree. It does not differentiate between external reality and a scene imagined with feeling. To it, everything that has feeling is real, and it will work all night long, and the following days organizing your world to reflect that reality you planted. I know what you are thinking now. You are thinking, but I have already tried this, I have already visualized, I have already done imagination exercises, and it didn't work. I answer you with honesty. Either you were not truly feeling it, or you didn't persist enough, or you left the state during the day and contradicted in your internal dialogue everything you had planted at night. There is no mystery. The law of assumption is a law, like the law of gravity. It works for everyone, every day, without exception. What changes is whether you are using it for or against yourself. Think about something. Do you know someone who is always complaining that everything goes wrong, that no one is good, that life is unfair, that they have bad luck? And bad things always happen to that person. We look from the outside and think, wow, they really attract it. They do attract it. But it's not because of bad luck. It's because their state of consciousness is exactly that. Their I am is pasted to the word unlucky, and the universe, faithful, delivers. Now think of the opposite person, the one for whom everything falls into their lap. Opportunities appear, the right people arrive, money flows. They live in another state of consciousness. Their I am is pasted to words like blessed, prosperous, loved, capable. And the universe, obedient, delivers. It is not luck, it is not different divine merit. It is the same law working at different frequencies. And you now, at this exact moment, have in your hands the power to change the frequency of your mark, to rewrite the signature of your soul. Not tomorrow, now. Every breath you take from now on is a new chance. Every thought is a choice. Every feeling is a planting. You are the farmer of your own life, and Archangel Michael came to remind you of this. He came to hand you the sword. The sword is discernment, the power to cut every thought of lack before it takes root, the power to immediately exchange a negative I am for an I am that builds. And here is a practice I want you to do tonight. Take a notebook, a loose sheet, anything. Write in your own handwriting a letter. But there is a detail. You will write this letter from the future, from a year from now. You position yourself as if you were already living the life you desire, and you write to the you of today, thanking yourself for the courage to have changed your state of consciousness. Describe in detail what your life is like now, how your heart is, how your home is, your body, your bank account, your work, your love. Write with feeling, write slowly, and then put it away. This document is a decree. It is not a request. It is an assumption materialized on paper. I have seen this happen with so many people. Women who had given up on love after 40, 50, and who changed their inner mark, and months later found someone who changed everything. Men in debt, threatened with losing their home, who entered the state of consciousness of provision, persisted, and saw opportunities arrive that they had never imagined. Mothers who prayed for rebellious, distant children, and who understood that the path was not to ask for change in the child, but to assume the state of reconciliation already realized, feeling, every day before sleeping, the child back in their arms. And the child returned. It always returns. Because the soul recognizes the frequency of the mother who loves in a state of assumption. The soul is pulled as if by a magnet. And here I ask you a direct question. What is the dominant feeling of your week? You woke up every day with what mark on your chest? Was it tiredness, fear, sadness, anxiety? Or was it gratitude, expectation, faith, fullness? Be honest. You cannot change what you do not see. And the mark of your week is the exact forecast of your next week, unless you decide to change now. And that is why there is what I call the decree of acceptance. And here I speak directly to you. When you decide to accept a new reality, you need to mark this moment. You need to create a symbolic act that tells your subconscious, here, everything changes. And one of the simplest and most powerful ways to do this in this video is exactly to click the like button and leave your subscription registered on this channel. This is not just a button. It is a decree of acceptance. You are saying with a physical gesture that you accept the knowledge that is arriving, that you commit to continue on this path, that you are marking the beginning of your change. Every new life begins with a yes. This is your yes today. And now we move forward, because I still have profound things to tell you. I spoke about the internal dialogue, but I want you to understand a deeper layer. The internal dialogue is not just what you say to yourself. It is also what you say about other people inside your head. When you think about that relative who hurt you, that ex who betrayed you, that boss who belittles you, and keep reliving the stories with anger, with resentment, with a desire for revenge, you are planting a frequency of conflict within you. And this frequency is your mark. And this mark attracts more conflict. Therefore, part of the reprogramming is also liberation. It is letting go. It is cutting with the sword of Archangel Michael all the invisible threads that still tie you to old stories of pain. Not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve to free your mark from any weight that is not yours. Forgiveness is not a gift for the other. Forgiveness is the cleaning you do inside your own temple. And when the temple is clean, the frequency rises naturally. And if you are thinking that this is difficult, I agree. But there is a technique taught by Neville called revision. Before sleeping, before the visualization of the scene of the desire realized, you review the day. But not as it really was. You review the day as you would have liked it to have been. The argument that happened, you review the scene, but inside your imagination, you see yourself responding calmly and the other person apologizing. The client who was rude, imagine them treating you with respect. The day that was heavy, feel a light, fluid, blessed day. This seems like childish fantasy. But it is one of the most powerful techniques that exist, because to the subconscious, it doesn't matter if the scene happened for real or was revised in the imagination with feeling. It erases the old version and records the new one. You are literally rewriting your history, not the history already lived in physical events, but the history engraved on your soul, which is the only one that matters for what lies ahead. There is a very profound phrase that I want to leave engraved. You do not change the past, you change the meaning of the past. And when the meaning changes, your frequency changes. And when your frequency changes, your future changes. Everything starts within, always. And now I return to Archangel Michael. I return to the message he brings today. He came to tell you that the mark of your soul can be remade, that you are not condemned to carry the frequency of the family, of the generation, of the trauma, of the error of the past, that within you there exists a creative power, and this power answers to a name. I am. And when you say I am and complete it with words of light, with words of strength, with words of faith, you are painting your mark again, like the painter who takes the already stained canvas and covers it with a new layer of paint. More beautiful, clearer, truer. I am abundant, I am loved, I am healthy, I am capable, I am blessed, I am protected, I am of God, I am divinely guided. Each of these phrases, said with real feeling, with the true sensation that that is your identity, is a brushstroke. Keep painting, keep covering, keep changing the mark. At some point your old mark no longer exists. It has been covered, and what is left is the new mark. And from then on, your life is different. I ask you one thing. Do not try to do this out of obligation. Do not force it. Do not turn this into a list of spiritual tasks that you need to fulfill or it won't work. The law of assumption does not work with pressure. It works with surrender, with trust, with lightness. You assume the state, you feel it, you smile inside because you know it is already yours, and you let go. Let go of the how, let go of the when, let go of the form, and continue living, but now living from this new state, and life will begin to move. You will notice small signs first, an unexpected call, an idea that appears out of nowhere, a desire to go to a place you normally wouldn't go, a name that comes into your head. Do not despise these signs. They are planks of the bridge of incidents. The universe is asking your permission to take you. But it only takes you if you go, if you listen, if you take the step. It doesn't need to be big. It can be a small step. Send the message. Go to that meeting. Look at that ad. Read that book. Each step is a confirmation. Each step opens the next. And here I need to warn you about one thing. Do not share your deep desires with just anyone. There is a wisdom in silence. When you are manifesting something big and go around telling everyone, you expose yourself to contrary frequencies. People, even well-intentioned ones, will bring you statistics, will remind you of the size of the problem, will project their fears onto you. And you, still firming the new mark, may fall. Therefore keep it, cultivate it in silence. Pray with the door closed as Christ himself taught, and when the manifestation arrives, it speaks for itself. And while the manifestation does not arrive in physical form, you live as if it had already arrived. This is the secret of secrets, living from the end. You walk down the street like someone who is already the prosperous person. Take care of your body like someone who is already the healthy person. Talk to your partner or the partner who is yet to arrive with the tone of voice of someone who is already deeply loved. You are not pretending. You are inhabiting. You are building the fourth dimension within you, and the third begins to adjust to serve you. And here we reach a part that many people cannot understand. The life you are living today is not a punishment. It is not a penalty. It is simply the perfect reflection of the mark you have carried until now. Accepting this truth hurts at first, because it removes the illusion of being a victim. But it is the acceptance of this truth that hands you the key, because if your life is the reflection of your mark, and if you can change your mark, then you can change your life. This is power. This is responsibility in the most beautiful sense of the word, ability to respond, ability to rewrite. And Archangel Michael is right there by your side at this moment. He is not on a distant altar. He is in the field of your heart. He is the courage within you. He is the sword that cuts the illusions. He is the voice that says, "Rise, start over. Your time has come." And this voice today is reaching you through this video. There is no coincidence on this path. There is synchronicity, and synchronicity is the way the universe talks to those who are ready. I'm going to give you a final exercise now, an exercise that you can do tonight and repeat for at least 21 days in a row. 21 days is a cycle. It is the time the subconscious takes to begin to accept a new mark as real. You lie down, turn off the light, take 3 deep breaths, slowly. With each exhalation, release a weight, a demand, a fear, a name, a scene. When your body is already lighter, you think of a single scene, a single one. Do not try to manifest everything at once. Choose the most important thing for you at this moment, and enter the scene not as a spectator, but as the protagonist. Feel the environment, the temperature, the smells, the people around you, and especially feel the emotion that would only come if that scene were real. Gratitude, relief, fullness. Remain in this emotion for at least 5 minutes. And then, still inside the scene, you fall asleep, without letting go of its hand. You cross the bridge of incidents while you sleep. Do this for 21 days in a row, without missing a day. And observe what happens, the conversations that appear, the ideas, the people, the small miracles of everyday life. Write it down in a notebook. You will be shocked to see how fast the universe responds when your mark truly changes. And finally, I want you to keep one word, a single word that summarizes everything we talked about here. Persistence. Persistence in the new state of consciousness. Persistence in the new feeling. Persistence in the new internal dialogue. Persistence in the new I am. Because the old mark will try to return. It will. It will offer you old thoughts disguised as realism. It will offer you doubts disguised as prudence. It will offer you fear disguised as common sense. And you, with the sword of Archangel Michael in your hand, will cut. You will say no. You will return to the new state, as many times as necessary, 100 times a day if needed. Because every time you return, you are reinforcing the new mark, and at some point, it wins. It always wins. It is law. I end with a blessing, that at this exact instant, while you hear my voice, your old mark be dissolved, that every chain of scarcity, of fear, of pain, of waiting, be cut by the sword of Archangel Michael, that upon you descends a new mark, the mark of natural abundance, the mark of love that does not fail, the mark of health that renews itself, the mark of peace that does not depend on external circumstances, that every breath you take in the next 24 hours be a breath of one who already is, who already has, who already received. If these words touched your soul, if you felt that this message was for you, mark your decree of acceptance now. Leave your like on this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with that person you know is in need. Each of these gestures is a confirmation to your subconscious that you are ready, that you accept, that you decide. And in the comments, I ask you one thing. Write only 3 words, but write them with feeling each one. Write like this: I am ready. Not ready in the future, ready now. I am ready. I am. And may this phrase be your first brushstroke on the new canvas. The life you always wanted is waiting for you on the other side of the bridge of incidents. But you are the one who crosses the bridge. No one can cross for you. Not even Archangel Michael crosses in your place. He hands you the sword. He hands you the courage. He hands you the light on the path. But the step is yours. And the first step is the inner step. It is the change of the mark. It is the law of assumption in action. It is your persistence tearing down walls that you thought were eternal. I see you on the other side, a few months from now, returning to this channel to leave a comment telling what happened, the manifestation that arrived, the door that opened, the love that appeared, the money that began to flow, the peace that finally settled in your home. I see it, because to the fourth dimension this is already happening. It only lacks your mark to reach it, and it will reach it. You just need to remain. You just need to remember. You just need to feel. This moment is now. The mark aligns now. In the name of the I Am that lives in you, in the name of the sword of Archangel Michael that protects you, in the name of the light of the fourth dimension that materializes in your third, so be it. So it already is. And may you from now on live like one who knows, like one who feels, like one who persists, like one who has arrived. Go with God, go with your new mark, and go knowing that I and all of heaven are rooting for you, always, without pause, until your complete manifestation.